All right. It is, the hell is today? Losing track since I don't have to go anywhere, really. I don't have to go anywhere. It's Wednesday. I know what day it is. Alright, it's been a minute. I'm so far behind in videos, man. I'm so far behind on everything. But if you've ordered anything, it's all shipped out now. It's all shipped out. It's on its way. I was at the post office the other day. Matter of fact, if you don't believe me, I'll spin a little video in right here, a piece of it. Good enough. Alright, this is Brother Brent over at Armed in All Heart, BMG. Armed in All Heart, BMG. It's his channels. You can see it in my subscriptions. Look at my subscriptions. You'll see BMG. So Brother Brent, he's a Christian brother. He's a power lifter. He's, let me tell you, he's all natural. He's 100% natural. I mean, he has no intention of messing with anything. And he has some very good lifts, some very respectable lifts. Tore a bicep a couple years ago. Came back from that and has pulled 550 deadlift in competition since then. Not that long ago, we were there, we videoed it. I guess it has been that long ago, last summer. Time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, he's a really, really good brother, and I never take any of his challenges and shit, so, I do watch his channel, so I'm gonna take this challenge. And you guys put your answers in here. If you got a video channel, do a video on it. What the hell? Is it gonna kill you? Do something nice. Think about something pleasant. Hopefully. And I'm gonna call out Steve Shaw, Brother Steve Shaw. I'm gonna call him out, tag him on this, see if he'll do it. What the hell? All right. So the challenge is called "Where is your heart?" Now the BMG, he's a strong dude, but he's got a preposition at the end of his. He has "Where's your heart at?" So I'm gonna drop the at. I'm gonna say "Where's your heart?" So this is BMG's challenge. Number one. What is the best year of your life so far and why? That's a really tough one. No single year stands out, but I would say that if I had a time machine, or if through some miracle I could go back in time and have lived like one day at like a really awesome point in my life, I would love to go back and live one day as my 16-year-old self. It would be so awesome. Even my 15-year-old self, for that matter, it would be just awesome. But knowing what I know now, so I could really live that 24 hours to its fullest and just enjoy just having been a kid again, basically 16, 15, somewhere in there. That would be awesome. Also, I would like to go back if I had the same opportunity and live another day when before my daughter was all grown up and moved out. That was a very rewarding time in my life. One of the best times of my life, being a dad. What else do we got? I don't know. I think those are the two most rewarding things I've ever done. Well, the most rewarding thing I've ever done is raise my daughter. That's the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And it's probably the most important thing I've ever done. Oh, here comes this kid. I don't get the mentality behind that racket. I have a 4-cylinder. I want the world to know it. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, those are the best times of my life so far, I believe. I mean, today's pretty damn good too. I try to live every day, you know what I mean? I try to make it. If I wasn't happy and wasn't digging on my life, I would change something. I'm totally happy. I got the life I want. Everything's cool. Everything's good. So, number two, beside YouTube, what is your favorite place to go on the internet? I don't know. I'm not an internet guy, man. I gotta say, another place I usually go is like check my email, or once in a while go on Craigslist, because a lot of times, we got brothers who are looking for a place to live or looking to relocate and move down here. We got one brother like that right now, maybe two. So sometimes I'm looking for stuff like that, to try and line them up. Other than that, that's all I do on the internet, really. I'm not an internet guy. I don't even have a smartphone. I got an old flip phone, and I'm happy with it. So, not much excitement in these answers, I guess, for me. What do we got here? Number three, what is the best compliment you can receive? Best compliment I can receive by far is that I had a positive effect on somebody's life somehow. That they garnered something positive, that somehow their day was brighter or something was made better in any regard at all because of something that I put out there. Energy I put out there, video I put out there, met me in person, whatever. Just trying to, I don't know, the biggest compliment I can receive is that that I've done some good, that I've helped someone, that I've done some good. I think that's a huge compliment. Huge compliment in my opinion. All right, number 4. What is the worst thing someone can say to you? Worst thing someone can say to me. That's tough because it would have to be somebody that holds validity in my world, in my life. I'm not going to validate, knuckleheads and haters and all that shit. That shit just rolls right off me like water off a duck's ass. It literally really does. It really does. Yes, hate me all you want. I am that secure and I am that comfortable in my own skin by now. I ought to be all these years. Jesus Christ, how long do you think it takes? So I don't really give a shit what people say. I would like to be liked. Who wouldn't? That'd be my preference. But I'm a realist, and I know there are people out there, they don't have to know you, they don't have to even feel it. They hate their own lives for whatever reason, and their lives are so devoid of any real, substance that, they'll just say shit to say it. Just say shit to say it. And they'll try to be hateful because they want to hurt somebody because they're, that's where they are in life. All right, so, number 6. Oh, no, wait a minute. Number 5. What is something you've held on to, though it is unpopular? And you know what? I'm going to say the same thing that Brent has said. I think one of the main things I've held on to, other than that I hold on to everything that's old, I'm old school in so many ways. A lot of the things I've held on to, chivalry, believe it or not. A lot of dudes just don't get it. Today, in today's world, a lot of dudes do, but a lot of dudes don't. I'm an old school type of guy, and contrary to what I might appear, I try to be a gentleman. When I'm in public, if I'm out someplace and people are meeting me and they've come from someplace far or whatever the hell, come train, I want to try to be up. I want to try to be up. I want everybody to have a good time, all that stuff. But the real thing is I'm actually more reserved and more of an observer, usually. Quieter guy. I don't have to be, but that's my preference. So I guess I'm just an old school guy. And the other thing I would have to say is my belief in a God, man. My belief in a God. And a God above. My belief that my religious beliefs, maybe unpopular in today's world, seems like they are. Nobody wants to believe in anything, but that's part of our arrogance. We think that we know everything and we're the hottest shit on the planet and everything else. We're the most destructive thing on the planet by far. There's no question about that. We're the only thing on the planet that can't live in harmony with our ecosystem, the ecosphere. Anyway, with everything, other animals, everything. Not saying I know how to do a better job, okay? I'm not saying that, I'm not preaching to anybody about it. I'm just saying this is me, Number 6, what event, small or large, has changed the course of your life the most? The birth of my daughter. Having my daughter didn't straighten me out immediately, but once I came to the realization that I needed to be something she could count on, that she could look to as a good example and not a bad example, when I realized that, then I made my whole life about, I set a rule for myself, and the rule was, because literally I'd acted like a maniac for so long, not that I was ever a bad guy, but I was a guy that was introverted, and I was a kid that didn't get a lot of attention from females or girls, or maybe I didn't feel as if I had any of their attention. You know what I mean? I had no self-confidence, lack of self-esteem, all that kind of shit. And I learned how to fight. I got good at that. Beat up the neighborhood bully, and I received a lot of accolades from that. And then I kind of made a right turn or left turn and went to maybe a little bit off course a bit. But I solved my bullying problem, that's for damn sure. It might not have been the most enlightened route. But when my daughter was born, because I had been running around like a goof for a good while at that point, I decided that if my behavior, if it was something that I couldn't let her know about. If it was something I would be ashamed for her to find out or know about, and it was something that I shouldn't be doing. That was my guide, and that worked really well for me, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to say that changed my entire life right there. She saved my life, basically. Let's see. I mean, there was a point in time when I didn't have much money and I was working a lot, and when I would have off on the weekends, I would try to spend every single minute with my daughter. Every single minute with my daughter, like that was my dinner date, that was my movie date. Like I said, we didn't have a lot of money at the time, her and I, and if I didn't have a lot of money at the time, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just tried to do the best that I could, and apparently I did pretty good. She turned out great. She's very successful. But if I was going to spend money to take somebody out to a movie or take somebody out to dinner, it was sure enough going to be my daughter. I wasn't going to leave her home and take a woman out. I would have liked to have been able to spend time with a woman, but it just wasn't something at the time I had the luxury of being able to do financially. And unless my daughter was going over her grandmother's for the weekend, staying over her grandmother's all weekend or something, then when that happened, then I would go out. But other than that, nah. Everything was a choice. You always have a choice, and that's how I chose to do it, because I knew I did at least have enough foresight to know that the time is going to pass by and it's going to be over with, and I won't be able to regain it. I won't be able to go back and do it over. So try to do it best I could. That was a life-changing event. That changed the course of my life. Let's see what else we got. We're at number 7 now. Number 7. Name something you have a hard time with but others don't. I don't know. Some people do, some people don't. But myself, I have a hard time accepting generosity or help from anybody. I feel like that I'm always the person. I don't know. It sounds arrogant to say it, but and I'll tell you another thing, more conventional thing. I don't go out to bars. I don't go to bars. I don't go to nightclubs. I don't go to any of these places. I had enough of that in my youth. I don't do that. I have a low tolerance for assholes, and it's just not a place. It's just not a place to. I don't want to burn up the energy and the time, so I don't do that. Other people, they do that. I don't, and they have a good time. I don't do it. I would find something else to do always. I don't do that. I mean, I never do that. I do not go to bars. I do not go to clubs and shit like that. Believe me, I burned it down when I was younger. I did enough of it. Let's see. Number 8. Name something in the news about the virus you care nothing about. Well, I care about it all to a degree. I don't always know what to believe. There's so much contradicting information out there. I'm kind of getting the picture that what I'm starting to picture leaves a kind of a bad taste in my mouth for the whole thing. But I'm tired of hearing all the negative stuff. I want to hear some positive stuff, man. And I hear a little bit of that, but I'd like to hear more of that. I'd like the media to stop every day trying to pounce on some kind of negative shit and play up the positive end of things. That's what I would like to. I would like to hear about the positive things. That's what I'd like to hear about. Because I'm watching too much news nowadays, and it seems 80% negative, and I'm sick of it being like that. Number 9. What is a life rule that you have to follow? Life rule I have to follow, man, is to try to treat other people the way that I would want to be treated. To treat other people the way that I would want to be treated. To be the kind of brother, the kind of friend that I would want. Somebody to be to me. People to be to me. That's basically a life rule I try to follow. All right. Number 10. Place your hand over your heart and tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance. I'm old school. I'm from the day when we said the Pledge of Allegiance. Nobody stayed seated. Everybody got up and said the Pledge of Allegiance. It wasn't even a thing to consider that I'm not going to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Why? That would be idiotic. It was the opposite of how it is today. If you refuse to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance for the American flag, you would be looked at like, oh my God, what kind of atrocity is that? So it's like the opposite today. Too many people follow the leader and they want to do what's popular, so somebody takes a knee, they're going to take a knee, I'm not going to take a knee, because what that flag represents is an ideal. It's an ideal, man, and it's still the best country, and it's the best idea, for a country in the world. And we don't live up to it. We don't live up to it. Once in a while we come close, but we don't really live up to it. We need to work harder at it. All of us need to work harder at it. but the ideal of what it's supposed to be, that's what the flag represents. The flag doesn't represent, this politician that screwed up and did us wrong, or this politician that just said something stupid, or, that's, or these people that did something behind other people's back and are supposed to be our elected officials. That's not what the flag represents. They're misrepresenting the whole scheme, the whole framework of what it's supposed to be. So I look to the flag with respect, because I look at what it represents, and it represents an ideal, and we can't quit on that. We can't give up on that. It's people that screw up. It's people that make it hard. The ideals that flag represents, I don't see anything bad in that. All right, that's it. That was number 10. So that's all 10 of them. All right, Brother Brent, I did your challenge. So I would invite you guys to try it. Maybe Steve Shaw will try it. Maybe Brother Steve might try that. It's the Armed in All Heart, Where's Your Heart At challenge. 10 questions, and I'll write them down up in the description. All right, you guys write your answers in the comments if you feel like it, or at least write whatever one's the most important to you, or you can relate to the most. I'll be back with something else. I wanted just to get something in here kind of light, a little bit more of a light fare, on a lighter note. Things are too heavy now lately. Anyway, we still got to enjoy our lives. I'm trying. I'm enjoying myself. I hope you guys are too. All right, take care, and I'll be back in a bit.